Hey, it's Ashley at Western Fashion Behind the Scenes, and I am so excited because today I have someone who I've been trying to track down for quite a while. Her name is Lexi Hoagland, and she is the founder of Cowgirls and Cocktails. She's also a boot connoisseur. Welcome, Lexi.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here.
Me too. This is gonna be great.
I am in Las Vegas, and you are in.
I'm in Fort Worth right now, but I head out tomorrow, so I will be in Las Vegas tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, the lead up to NFR is intense. Tell me a little bit about who you are for the audience that doesn't know you very well.
My name is Lexi Hoagland. I am originally from Denver, Colorado, and I'm a triplet. A lot of people don't know that about me. I have two brothers. We are all spread out right now, but we went to college in Arkansas at a small school called Harding University, and I fell in love with the South. And so ended up moving to Texas. I started in construction on a sales and business development side and learned so much about networking, but I feel like networking started for me even in school. When I was in Dallas, I fell in love with the romance of the Western industry. I knew I really wanted to be a part of it. The morals and the culture of our industry really felt like how my parents had raised me, and I wanted to be a part. And so I started networking and got my first role at National Roper Supply and was the director of sponsorships over there and worked with all of the brands that we retailed for. Ran an influencer program for them and a boot campaign. Shortly after that, about 2 years later, I went over and started working for Lane Boots. And I am now on the marketing and the sales side for them. Wear a lot of hats. Throughout all of this, I started a group called Cowgirls and Cocktails, which is meant to be a networking organization for women in Western and agriculture. And the whole mission is to build a longer table and not a taller fence for women in our industry.
And that is really good mission. The most amazing part of the connections that I've witnessed through Cowgirls and Cocktails is that you're literally changing women's lives and giving them an edge and an advantage that they would never have a different way. I've
Well, thank
seen women
you.
that are asking for a certain thing and they get it exactly what they're looking for because of that networking ability that you're trying to create. So I just want you to know it's working, number one.
Okay.
There have been people that have been in my network that have reached out to me that have said, "Hey, I found you through this because I saw this." And it's connecting women. Sometimes we think we have to work harder, and the reality is we need to work smarter. And I think
Yeah.
you could really talk about this to the degree that some people are going to listen to this and say, "Oh, she's had all of her time in this industry. There's no room for me. I don't know how to start." What do you say to those girls that want to try to get into doing something in the Western world?
I would say that those are the girls that I'm most passionate about. Have never been trying to change anything that is already gone on in our industry. I just want to continue to grow it and become a part of it and continue to pull seats up at the table for the women who either don't feel like they have a space in the Western world or are wanting to get involved but don't feel like they know where to start. For me, to those girls, I would just say to start asking questions. I feel like I really try and come out of things as a learner first and then really be an active and engaging listener before I ever have anything else to say. Full transparency, I was terrified to start Cowgirls and Cocktails. I don't come from this industry. My dad was heavily involved in this industry, but that wasn't the lifestyle that was provided for us growing up. I was really scared about what a lot of the people who are so core and who have been in the industry for so long would even say about someone trying to start something like this and sat on the idea for about 9 months. For some reason, Cowgirls and Cocktails was what just felt catchy. I remember it was a Sunday and I was sitting on my couch and I said, you know what, screw it. I am going to start this Facebook group and invite my friends. And I begged all of my friends to come to my first event. And it was so awkward and it was weird and nobody really knew what to do. We just sat around a table and I lose track of the number, but I think it was like 11 to 13 people had initially showed up. On top of that, to the women who are wanting to get involved is just stay persistent. And I feel like that's what I've really tried to do with this group is host monthly events, get women together, host things that are a little bit out of the norm.
So, for people that don't know about Cowgirls and Cocktails, you have monthly events and
Yes.
you support a lot of women.
There's
Tell
some
me about
amazing
the ones you have
too.
had.
Let's see. I try and host things that are very different. I don't want to always just stick to something that's Western because I know that's not how we're going to grow if we just continue to target and market towards our people who are already internal. And so I've done some really simple things of just, hey, this is where we're meeting for happy hour. Come and grab a drink. We're all just hanging out to more a little bit more intimate events like a speed networking event, which was one of my favorite. It was at the Cowgirl Hall of Fame. Every woman, I think they walked away with 13 different connections where each woman had four 4 minutes to talk about themselves, and then their partner on the other side of the table had 4 minutes to talk about themselves too. And it was encouraged to, if you're there for a certain reason, if you're there looking for a job, you need to state it because nobody is going to scream your name louder than you yourself. Or if you're looking for a friend, or if you're just looking for someone to meet who might be a little bit different than your circle. Each woman got their names, numbers, emails, social contacts, and were able to write notes on each person.
This is
Yeah.
brilliant because this gives people the opportunity to have a safe place to share who they
Right.
are, which is really hard.
Yes. So it was really cool. And everyone, I really try and make sure when anybody walks through the door that they are in the mindset of, I want someone to approach me and I'll be approachable, but I'm also going to approach other people as too. I never tell someone like, I've had women say, I'm coming alone. And I say, you'll at least have me. You'll know me. I'll introduce you to multiple people, but it's definitely a place where someone can come by themselves. And we've even done shopping events, a lot of shopping events. And then this one coming up in Vegas will be our first time in Vegas. So it's going to be
Let's
great.
hear about the Vegas one.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is not on my 2024 bingo card or ever. So I didn't expect to be in Vegas either. But the Virgin Hotels and actually Shaylee Ham and Anna Kuniko came to me and said, hey, we've been seeing what you're doing with Cowgirls and Cocktails. We think that this would be really awesome here in Vegas. Would you be interested in partnering with the Virgin Hotels? And I was like, would I ever? And so I flew out earlier this summer and met the team over at the Virgin. We did a little bit of a site walk, and I just came in with the idea of let's do a tea party because my brand is not going to be the kind that I'm going to host some late night event and it's drinking and just that's not me. That's not what I'm trying to build here. I wanted to put women in an environment that was something different, that gets them in the mindset of I'm here to mingle professionally and meet new people. So I walked in and I was like, I really want this Vegas meets Texas cowgirl tea party. It was almost a God thing. And they had said, we host a weekly or monthly, I can't remember, tea party here over at the Virgin. We have everything that you could possibly need. Let's do that. So it's this Saturday from 11 to 3. We have some really fun brands that we've partnered with, and the Virgin Hotel has just been an absolutely amazing team to work with, and I feel so honored and excited
Yeah, and just
that.
for everyone who wants to know the date. So it's Saturday, December 7th. This, just to recap what you're saying, becoming curious about people is how you got to where you're at. And that's really something you learned from your parents? Or how did
I,
you learn to become curious? And people that aren't curious, how do they learn to become more curious? I would say that's probably why they're suffering, if they're suffering, because they're not curious enough.
yeah, I would say my parents definitely started us at an early age to be active learners and really asking us the questions of if you want to be anything when you grow up, what would it be and why? And for instance, we did a lot of hands-on learning experiences or shadowing business professionals at a young age. My brother, he dreamed of becoming a news anchor, and my parents would take us to the local news station and we would get to meet all of the news anchors and see the behind the scenes. And I think it really just sparked a passion because we got to learn about it so early on. He's a news anchor to this day.
Oh,
And
really?
so he is in Nashville. And
That's
so,
amazing, though.
mhm.
Which
And so
station? We have to watch.
he's at Channel 5 over in
Okay.
Nashville, Tennessee.
This,
I think for me, I really trying to hone in as I grew up as what's my passion? What do I want to be involved in? And as you get older, you realize most of your time is spent at work. Why be miserable? You should love what you do and you should have a fire for it. And when I got into the Western industry, that's the mindset I took too of I want to learn from these people. And I used LinkedIn as such a powerful tool. I would encourage the people who aren't learners to run to LinkedIn, type in whoever you can think of for whatever role and they are on LinkedIn. More times than not, if you approach someone from a learner's mindset and say, I would love to learn how you got to this place, people love to talk about themselves. They'll likely lead you to two more people. Where I see people go wrong, because everyone is in this place, especially right now with where our economy is at, is so many people saying, I'm looking for a job. And so many people are looking for a job. But I think what sets people apart is truly listening to the person on the other end on how they got to where they are and just striving to continually learn more.
I love this. Are you gonna talk at the Cowgirls and Cocktails event about leadership and things?
I don't know. I'm gonna say something just about Cowgirls and Cocktails as a whole in case we have so many new faces. This is the largest event to date. But I don't know. I was thinking about that today. What would I say? What do
Is
people want to?
someone in
I know we have a DJ and Jenna Paulette is going to come and sing. At some point, there will be a moment where I am going to talk about Cowgirls and Cocktails and the true meaning as to why we're here.
I love
So.
that. I think that'll be so powerful for women to hear because I think that most people don't know. And then once they do,
Mhm.
there's a call to action that's different. Let's talk about where you got your first pair of cowboy boots and how old you were when you got them.
My first real pair of cowgirl boots that I just was over the moon excited for is I got on a wait list very early on when the Lucchese Priscillas in the white glitz cream, I think is the color, came out. And I waited and oohed and awed. I remember Cowboy Christmas. And so it was my first job over at NRS, probably three years ago
And
for my
NRS
real.
is National Roper Supply. It's a
Yes.
large chain store in Texas.
Yes. And I remember I got on a wait list and it felt like God had answered all my prayers. It was Christmas Eve. My family was staying at Hotel Drover, and I get this random call from Lucchese in the stockyards, and they say, hey, we had a shipment come in of the Priscilla's and Glitz cream. We happen to have one in your size. Do you want it? And I said, absolutely. It's always a Christmas gift to myself.
That is a really good story, actually.
Yeah.
Nobody has
Ah,
that
I'll
story.
never forget it. And now that I work for a boot company, I am very loyal to them. But within about the first week, when I walked into Lane, I said, I want to let you know I have bought the Lucchese Priscilla's and it was nearly a down payment on a home. I will still have these boots.
This is so funny. Yeah, Priscilla Lucchese's are not cheap, but they are very pretty. Let's talk about your Lane journey. So how long ago did you start with Lane and what's going on right now?
Yes, I just started in Lane March 20th of 2023. 2023. Right now, we are very busy. Business is amazing. I love our company. I love our brand. We are very actively trying to diversify our brand, not just for the Western customer and making them think about a fashion boot, but also getting it in the eyes of maybe first-time boot buyers. I am very passionate about it, and I love being a part of the team right now. We just opened up our first storefront. For a lot of people who don't know this, Lane Boots is 17 years old. We've been direct to consumer online for forever and also in retailers. And I was maybe silly, maybe brilliant, I don't know. But I walked in to my boss's office probably 4 months ago and said, hey, if we ever open up a storefront, I want to be over it. I really hadn't thought much into it other than there's this massive expansion in the stockyards coming. It's $1 billion, I think, by 2038. Anyone who's in Western has to be down there. So my thought process was 4 to 5 years, maybe we'll open up a storefront. No, God also worked again, and within 3 weeks, we got a DM from the Galleria in Dallas, which is a beautiful mall, saying, hey, we have this storefront that's coming available November 1st, which is the start of Q4, right across from Sephora and Louis Vuitton. Would you guys want it? It was like, do we do it? We were all like, we have to do this. This is perfect for us. So we just opened up a store a month ago.
Oh my gosh, what a crazy adventure you are on.
High speed, yeah. So I'm
Okay,
over.
this is really interesting. So tell me a little bit about how influencers have helped you and how you've utilized influencers. Because I've seen you guys do a really good job of this, and a lot of brands and companies don't understand or believe in this concept.
Yes, so I was over our influencer program up until about a month ago. I've put on more hats and had to let something go and gave it over to another member on our team. But I'm very passionate about influencers. I feel like our influencer campaigns really helped us drive our overall brand marketing for this past year. And we really tried to coincide what was going on internally with what we wanted our influencers to talk about externally. I think influencers can only help benefit a company that much more and really solidify a buyer's purchase because it feels more personal than maybe a very professional and stylized shoot. So, we've done some really fun campaigns. A lot of our influencer work has been campaign driven and just this is what we're looking for this month. Can you help us capture this content? We've really been able to build some very powerful relationships by investing into influencer marketing.
Would you say they're driving your D2C sales? A lot of people ask me these questions, right? We talk about it
Yeah,
a lot on here, and I'm always curious for people that are in it every day, how is that
right.
working?
I don't know about driving. I think our marketing team has done such an amazing job of just what is our brand and how do we want to talk about it. But I 100% do know that they help us drive our D2C sales.
They're a part of
So
it.
it's they're never like there's never just one umbrella of internal lane marketing and then influencers are on the side. I feel like our influencers fall under that overall topic when we were wanting to say push a boot. How are the influencers going to help us with this?
Yeah.
So
I think
they're
that's how
never
all
an
brands should think about it or look at it. And if you don't want to call them influencers, you can call them ambassadors or sales associates. On
yeah,
some level, right? They come at us from the consumer from a sales perspective. And
yeah,
we all see these ideas. We do a
they're
lot of
created.
consumer research, right? Do you think that the cowgirl boot trend is going up? What do you see right now? How do you feel about this year, about last year, about next year? Where are things
Yeah.
going?
I hope it's only going to continue to grow up. I think that's me personally believing that. And then also from a lane standpoint and a cowgirls and cocktails standpoint, I always say as long as Western is on the runway, I feel like our jobs are more and more secure, especially from a retail and fashion standpoint. I think it's so amazing to see how many people are embracing our culture. I hope that it's not just a fad. I hope it's becoming a mainstream thought process of how do I get to style my cowboy boots today? Not can I wear my boots with this outfit? So
I love that idea. I've seen you guys do some really amazing styling opportunities and style fits. And what's going on down here at NFR? Where can people find your boots?
we are at retailers. We don't have our own location this year over at the NFR, but we have one location over at South Point, right where the World Series of Team Roping is. And then Boot Barn over at Cowboy Christmas will be carrying Lane products.
Yay. What is your favorite pair of boots of lane boots? Tell me about your favorite pair of boots of lane boots, about a few styles that you love that women are going to love.
Okay. I think my favorite pair that I always go towards, and I just got a second pair because they needed to look a little bit prettier for Vegas, would be our smoke shows and champagne metallic. A lot of our metallics can really scare people away, and I get it. But as long as you're thinking of, say, a champagne metallic, or we have another one called Silver Trails, I consider them like an accessory, and I wear gold jewelry. So to me, it's like wearing gold jewelry. It only accessorizes more of the outfit, and I consider it a neutral.
This is
That
actually really good advice. Did you hear all that advice, girls? Gold or silver is now the new neutral.
yeah, and it just adds a little bit of pop too with the metallic side where it's not, oh, I have to wear a brown boot today. It's no, I'm gonna pull out these gold girls over here and pair them with my outfit and just only spice it up a little bit more. I think another product that I love that I feel like is very different than other boot brands would be our corset back collections, which are involved in like the Lexingtons, the Monicas, the Reveries. I think I'm missing one, but our corset backs are a functional corset back that are adjustable to all different calf sizes. So for the girls who have very skinny calves and want to wear a tall boot but feel like they're absolutely drowning, or the girls who say have the more athletic calves, it's adjustable, I believe, up to just over 19 inches. And it just feels very special when you're talking to, say, a buyer from a retailer perspective or even a customer who walks in the door and says, I've always wanted to wear a cowboy boot, but my legs don't fit a tall boot. And then you get to see that sparkle in their eyes of this is possible for me. I think that's really fun. It's probably my favorite boot from, say, just a brand perspective. I love the corset back collections.
So I have changed some women's lives with that. You're making me cry because I actually have seen this so many times with not only your boots, but it's hard. It's really challenging subject for women to try and talk about because some of them, especially the ones that have tried for years, like 20 years to wear a boot, and then you watch them put a boot on and it changes their attitude and they literally go in a different direction in life. Elevate
It.
your wardrobe, transform your life. And it
Yeah,
really is that for people. So I'm very passionate about the
yeah.
boots that have the corset back, and I would highly encourage people to try them out. Do you have a bigger calf than 19, or are you planning a bigger calf?
Right now, our smoke show in Lexington, we have our what we call our wide calf options. And I don't think a lot of people know that in white and ceramic crackle. And I don't know what the calf circumference is on that. I do believe that our corset backs can extend just a little bit past that 19-inch because we do also have extended lace sizes as well. They
Okay,
can
yeah, I'm really
go.
curious. I can't remember. I think I had a girl that was 21 and we figured out
Mhm,
how to get her in one, but I can't remember if that was the extended laces or what happened. But it's exciting. If you are listening to this and you're like, "Oh my gosh, what? There are boots that are going to fit me?" Yes. Where
mhm.
can they find the boots?
Those would be also online, at least through Lane. You can always find them all online at laneboots.com. Also at the Galleria, we have a bunch of boots over at the Galleria in Dallas if you're a DFW local, and then through select retailers across the country.
Okay, I love this. Tell me a couple events after this one that are coming up in January, February.
For Cowgirls and Cocktails, one of my goals for this past year, and it will happen in January of 2025, is I really want to do a Learn from the Legends night. And so I've partnered with Bowie House in downtown Fort Worth, and we are inviting women. I just got a text today. The CEO of Teton Ridge is going to come and talk about her story, and then a few other women. And then knew I wanted Brenda Van Newkirk. She was the starter of Cinch Jeans.
She
I want to hear her story, and the whole purpose behind it is to hear from them about where they've seen Cowgirl prior, where Cowgirl is right now, and what is the future for women as cowgirls. But that's going to be really exciting. It'll be a ticketed event over at the Bowie House right around the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo time. So excited about that. Then last year I hosted my first Galentine's, and so I'm going to host another Galentine's event over at the Kimpton Harper. Not to say that's it, but I think Vegas has taken my time right now.
Yeah,
So
you have lots of things on your plate, girlfriend, but
yeah,
you are really good at what you do. It's
thank
impressive. It's
you.
really fun to watch. I have been selling cowboy boots for 20 years. I know
Yeah.
all the brands and all the things and all about them. It's been really interesting to see the evolution of Lane and where it's
Mhm.
at now is, I think, the strongest presence it's ever had in the industry. I think it's never been a better time for people to get involved in a movement. I love
Yeah.
that you have blue bottom soles. I love that you're inviting people who'd never worn a cowboy boot to think about it. It really speaks to a different crowd. And there's a lot of other brands out there not doing that, right? So, yay, good job. I'm so excited for your event on Saturday.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's going to be great.
Thanks so much, Lexi, for being on today. This has been so fun to talk to you, and I cannot wait to see you in Vegas.
Thank you so much for having me. Let's party.
Yay, party. This is Ashley at Western Fashion Behind the Scenes. And today we heard from Lexi Cosgrove. She is the founder of Cowgirls and Cocktails. She's also on the Lane boot team, and I cannot wait for you to get a pair of Lane boots. Laneboots.com is where you can find boots. Just remember, it's always a good time to wear cowboy boots.